Hello, I am in front of the camera once again because I just guess I can't stop looking at myself. I just love looking at all of you people. But I am here, not alone. I am here with Editor-in-Chief of Action Trip, Uros Pavlovich, as we are here for yet another Action Trippin Ballscast. This is number 8. I know that we gotten some complaints about numbering them versus putting dates. Sorry, fuck you. I'm numbering them. That's just how it goes.
Hello there. Yeah, I agree with the numbers thing. I mean, it doesn't make sense to me to put in dates. Not actually, I didn't see a lot of that going on YouTube. Nobody puts dates for video titles, do they?
No, usually for a podcast, it's all numbered. That way, you know exactly which ones you're missing or whatever. But you know, whatever. To each his own. So yeah, that was our. See, we're very tired. We've October has been hell for both of us, and so I apologize for maybe some of the lack of enthusiasm. But at least we're not talking Star Wars today. I'm sure there'll be plenty of Star Wars in the future, especially when Star Wars Battlefront releases.
Indeed, we don't. We're not going to be talking about Star Wars, but
instead, the topic that I've chosen is something that Uros and I have argued about ever since I started working here. Because when they brought me in to write reviews, because I was writing news here for, gosh, I don't remember. It was a while before I started writing reviews. And when he sat me down and talked about, the review process, he made it very clear the Action Trip has a strong policy about no game is perfect.
Yes. Well, not in the sense that there is no perfect score. It was mostly concerning our review system, which we actually spent a lot of time building and perfecting. And when we finally established this system, we said that it is kind of our goal to keep this this way of analyzing and reviewing games, so that the developers and publishers never feel that they've created something like immaculate. And basically, when you think about anything in life, nothing is really perfect. No movie, no novel or music that was written ever. So it kind of makes sense. But I think it's a system that a lot of other websites are just not. I mean, there are a lot of 100s, through 100 scores, like 10 out of 10. And I just don't understand that, to be honest. I don't understand what the value is there, what the system behind that is. I mean, I don't know. Have you ever given a perfect score before you worked for Action Trip?
Oh, that's a good question. I don't know if I ever have.
Or better yet, is there like a perfect game that you would? I think we've discussed this last time or something.
Yeah. Gosh, see, now I'm racking my brain. I don't think I ever have, and that's because the game that I consider the perfect game, I did not review. If I did review this game, I would have given it a perfect score. And that is Portal 2.
Oh yeah, you mentioned this.
Portal 2 to me is perfect, and it's because it's not padded. It is very concise in what it does. The story never falters. The story never feels cut off. It's never, that's it. It feels very complete. The gameplay was solid. The visuals were, again, solid. The music was amazing. The dialogue is amazing. I mean, that's one of the few games I have absolutely no complaints about.
And it also proves that games with, well, I wouldn't say nameless hero because she has a name, but in the game you're not entirely aware of her character, and she doesn't speak.
Right.
Like characters that don't speak, male or female, are just in most cases they're a good move for storytelling, because it's a game. And then you're just basically, you don't run the risk of people as being disappointed by the main character because they create a personal attachment to this you know, character or being or whatever they're controlling. So this is the safer route to take, and that's kind of proof that it's. I think that Portal for us though, when we reviewed it, was different because we reviewed it as part of the orange box. I don't know if you remember this.
Well, yeah, I'm not talking about the first Portal game. I have.
Oh no, sorry, the Portal 2 wasn't. Yeah, that was Portal 1. Damn, yeah, that my bad. Right.
Yeah,
But
I mean,
still.
the first Portal game, I do have complaints about, and that's because one of the is either the very last puzzle. Okay, well, the very last puzzle is the boss fight against GLaDOS, but the puzzle before that made me physically sick. It gave me severe motion sickness, and I think the only reason why I beat that is because I couldn't look at the screen. I was sitting there with my mouse and just clicking crazy, just to try to get through it. And because it's that puzzle where you basically slingshot yourself repeatedly up and up and up, so you're constantly.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think
so the camera's moving up and down, and you're having to, as you're being flung up in the air, you're having to look around for the next.
Yes.
Platform to sling the portal. And I swear to God, I really think I was just right clicking and clicking at random, because I couldn't look at the screen anymore.
Well, you see, not a perfect game.
Well, that was Portal. Now Portal 2, I never experienced.
Oh, there was one.
Yeah. Portal 2 never experienced anything like that, and I was nervous about that. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm gonna have another slingshot level, and there wasn't one.
Well, there were bits there where you had to do that.
Yeah, but not as
aggressive.
No.
Yeah. But why I brought it just stuck in my head, this whole thing with the orange box Valve did, because they released 3 good games. I always keep going back to that formula because that's essentially what gamers wanted. They wanted a package with so much things in it. It's like you open this box and there's a lot of cool stuff in there. You have 3 games, and the price tag was fair. They weren't huge games in terms of scale. They weren't big, but as a package, it was awesome. So that is something I would probably rate even higher if I saw somebody pull that off today, instead of what the industry is becoming, this whole pre-order, pay now, and then we promise you stuff, the whole DLC premium, season pass crap.
Right.
I'm not seeing. I understand that these big projects have to have some money coming in, because they're like massive and expensive, and the bigger the game, the bigger the budget needs to be. But still, it wasn't always that way, and it kind of seems unfair, still. And a lot of people keep complaining about it, and it's getting worse. It's like I said today, we complain and continue to buy.
Yeah, that's.
We cry and whine, and
then we still shell out the money. So why are they going to change if stuff still gets purchased?
I'm pretty sure that pre-order isn't as prominent, the pre-order culture, as it used to be. I'm pretty sure. I'm not saying it's dead, because people are still pre-ordering games they're passionate about, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, even if I wasn't reviewing games, there are certain franchises I would pre-order every single time. And it's just because, I just want to make sure that I definitely get it on day one. I never enjoyed going from store to store to store trying to find something. I am a girl who hates shopping. I really do. I like to go in a place and buy it and leave and be done. That's why I have loved online shopping. That's why I do a lot of pre-ordering, because I don't have to worry about it. When is it going to show up?
I can understand the practical reason behind it. As much as you're just waiting for your game, that you want to play, and I can totally understand it. Were it not for these, if we just didn't have all these, bad examples of publishers exploiting this.
Well, yeah, but you're unfortunately, that's just what you're going to have. I know that when I first talked to you about this, you said that you don't have a perfect game, but in looking at your review scores, I would have to say probably yours is going to be Grand Theft Auto 5 or 4.
It's not just because Rockstar and how they have this like masterful way of telling a story, even if it's shit. Like even if the story is bullshit and you've heard it all before, it's how it's told and how the relationship between the characters and the dialogue and I don't know, it's directing. It has to do with presentation with Rockstar, and they pull it off every time. Am I offline? Because did my mic go off just then?
No.
Okay.
You're
probably
fine.
Probably look like an idiot just like, am I online? Anyway, so think of any like Rockstar game. You must have enjoyed at least some of them. I know that if they always like shock me, they come up with new stuff like Bully, if you can remember that. And, it's so they always.
I've never played a single Rockstar game.
Well, I noticed that when we talked about it with Vince, that he's also pretty like, I'm not having that shit in my house because, hey, if, for instance, my daughter saw at least one cutscene from GTA 5, that would, I don't want to even consider the consequences of that. It's extremely violent always. It's extremely, everything is, over the top.
Yeah, okay, so I just pulled up our reviews and ranked them in order from the highest. And the highest score we have on the site is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yeah.
And then third place is Grand Theft Auto 4. I'm noticing a pattern here. And then 2 below that is LA Noire. And then a little further below that is Grand Theft Auto 5 for PC.
Okay, can I just say at this point, in my own defense, LA Noire was not my review.
And then Red Dead Redemption. And then we got
Bully. That was mine. Bully, I can't even. I think Bully was mine as well. No. Bully wasn't. I like Bully, but Bully wasn't. I'm not making a good case for myself here. But
and then Grand Theft Auto San Andreas.
Also not mine. So I did review 3 of those.
Right. See, I always wanted to play LA Noire. I just never.
Oh my God, I gave up on that big time. I really liked it, and I gave up on it. I was even prepared to go through all those painful trial and error dialogue sequences. You know what I'm talking about?
No, I don't know anything about it.
Okay, so the thing is that it was usually hard to tell how you would go through a dialogue about when you were questioning a suspect as a detective. So it really is kind of hard. I mean, if you have all your clues in place, and if you've explored the game enough and every crime scene, then you have a little notepad and you go through these very carefully, and then you question the suspect. But usually, if you rush things, you just can't. I mean, even if you have all the evidence there, it's hard to get the dialogue to be perfect so that you would so that you could move on. So there was a lot of trial and error, but I was like, this is not a drawback for me, and I was prepared to go through the entire game, but it kept crashing and overheating my Xbox 360, and that was a huge thing on some platforms, like on Xbox platforms. Not everybody had it, because I've researched this a ton because I really wanted to finish the game. And then when the PC version came out, I was like, okay, I just lost my enthusiasm. I don't want to start all over because I played a lot. And so it was technically just wasn't tested enough. And this turns out to be a thing for them. They don't polish their games enough in a technical sense.
Oh, so the Bethesda treatment.
Yes, kind of. Yes. Oh no, actually, I don't know. They're fucked up in their own way with their games. and glitches. But I don't know, Fallout 3 was okay. Wasn't that buggy when it released, if I remember? Or was it? Oh,
I have no idea. I never played any Fallout games.
I'm just thinking out loud, but oh yeah, I played Fallout 3 on the Xbox and it wasn't buggy. Maybe the PC version was. So did we steer off topic again?
Well, always. But I was going to ask you, and I was looking at, so the highest rated game on actiontrip.com is.
Oh, you're just not going to let this go. Okay,
is Grand Theft Auto 5.
Yes.
And it's your review, not Vince's review, who reviewed it on the PC.
Yeah, it's mine. Okay. What did he give the PC version?
A 9.5.
Right.
And you gave it a 9.8.
Yeah.
Okay.
I was totally blown away by the game. At the time I was playing it, I was just blown away.
But you don't consider that like a perfect game to you? Like, so you still have some complaints about it?
Yes.
Okay. So is there any game that you don't have any complaints?
I don't remember at all. I don't remember what I highlighted for GTA 5 as the downs, as the lows, like cons. Is there a game that... Look, I totally agree with you on Portal. I don't think there's... there was a moment in Portal where I felt like frustrated or anything. But it's like... I don't know. I don't know. You're suggesting I'm too picky?
Oh, that's a given.
Okay, so you're just...
Well, I mean, to be honest, like I know, like before
I cannot give a perfect score to any. I mean,
just but before Portal 2, I could not. I mean, I kind of had the same way of no, like every game's going to have at least one little flaw that's going to annoy me or bug this, or this was too short, or this was too long, or they added this, or blah blah blah. But Portal 2, like I played it and I had no complaints. I can't say one bad thing about it.
So you're saying that this is something worth like considering or reconsidering as a sort of a...
Yeah, I just like giving you shit over it. And I was just curious if you actually ever had
a
perfect game.
Don't take it the wrong way, but you can keep you can just keep keep at it, because I like when like people question stuff and reevaluate stuff. I'm not saying that our system is perfect. Okay.
Oh God, no. But that's because we got two humans working it, and we're not perfect.
You know, there was this thing, I don't know if IGN did it or GameSpot or whoever, that they kept going back to their perfect score games and then rating them again. Or I don't know if they would rate them again, but there was like, what the hell? I wouldn't give this score to, you know, it's like when you go back to it, just the enthusiasm drops, in a sense.
Right.
I wouldn't,
well,
if I would, I don't know. I don't know what that is.
But, you know, it's like, you know, I was talking to Blake this week about, you know, how every review is subjective. Like,
yes.
I just said that LA Noire was up there in the upper nines. Like, it was like a 9.7. And you were quick to say, oh, but I didn't review that. Because if you had reviewed it, you probably would have given it a much different score.
I would have given her.
Given it?
No, they're all, don't you know that?
They're all her?
They're all female to me.
Oh, like ships, huh?
Yeah, and none of them are perfect.
Well, suddenly the babe of the day on our site makes much more sense.
None of them are perfect. Oh no, those I rate perfect always.
Oh, okay.
What was the discussion again? That was a major detour.
I was just saying, you know, that, you know, with everything being subjective, like you said about going back and looking at perfect scores, like I remember when Uncharted 2 first came out.
Yeah.
And at that time, a lot of people gave it, you know, a 10 out of 10 or a 5 out of 5 because we had never seen anything like that before. It just blew our minds.
It was good. Yeah, it was pretty good.
Well, you go back and play it now on the Nathan Drake collection. It's still great, but it's not you might notice some of the flaws. Like, okay, well,
Yes.
the load times are a little long, or the breaks in the cutscenes, and you know,
Did you get a
things
chance
like
to
that.
play it a bit?
Oh hell no, I've been too busy.
Yeah, I was like, when? Or was it like you had the PS4 on one screen and the Xbox with Halo on another, and you just had like two gamepads? It's possible.
That would give so many nightmares. That'd be the weirdest dreams ever.
Yeah, but it was well, the thing with the Uncharted series and the collection and that like the remastered thing. You can see actually now that that games are evolving so fast, and even when you go back a few years, it feels outdated. I guess you can say that they are trying to they're always trying to make them better.
Mm-hmm.
Doesn't still make Uncharted like bad.
Well, no, but now if it,
If you've played it at the time, like any game when it was out, that
right.
was like that's why I still prefer playing. I notice a lot of my friends who are not in the business, in the industry as we are, where we have to play them when they come out. But they are passionate about certain games, and then they play them, and they wait for certain like discounts on Steam and blah blah blah, and then they play a whole bunch of them if they can manage to find the time to go through their backlog. But for me, I still just like, even if I would to stop doing this for a living, I think I would still prefer playing them when they come out.
Yeah, I'd be the same way, because even when I wasn't reviewing, I was still buying the games when they came out, because I would just get too excited about stuff, and I'd always want to. And I'm also the type of person that wants to go after the new shiny thing.
Yes.
So.
Yes, the newer, the shinier, the better.
Right. So yeah, I don't know if I would get as many, but I would still.
Oh, I would definitely not get as many.
Right.
I mean, I could probably be involved with whatever I was doing with my life if I wasn't doing this, which is a huge question and a kind of a totally like scary, scary thing to ponder for me. Like, what would I do if I didn't write about video games? So I still have stuff that I'm passionate about that I would play in my own time, definitely, but not as many games. No, definitely not. And as I said, from time to time, just it's overwhelming that what we do, so much stuff. As much as I'm sure that film critics or book critics get the same thing when they have to like review something they don't like, or it's like it's too much sucking in too much content.
Right.
for one's pleasure, and none of them are perfect. It could be our new tagline. Oh my God, the Action Trip tagline. That was always one of the hottest topics for any discussion on Action Trip. Our tagline.
So our new tagline is Action Trip. Nothing is perfect.
Oh no, there were far better. So many better ones.
No, I'm just saying, like for now, that's what you're going to make it. Nothing's perfect. No game is perfect.
I'm always too scared to mention the one that was the biggest hit, but in this era of political correctness, I probably shouldn't. But there was an idea to just go back to the old one, which was what we lack in creativity, we make up for in stupidity or something.
Oh, okay. So the one I liked was
that was the old one. That was on there since we had decided. Like,
I think ages. The one that I liked, always outmanned but never outgunned.
Yeah, that was. Oh no, that was always understuffed but never outgunned. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I should find. I love going through that list. But in the end, we had to choose the stupid, generic, Google-friendly one.
Oh, this is the world we live in. And
Yeah.
like the world we live in, the big disappointment is your disappointment from last week about Destiny.
You're itching. You're dying to get started with this topic, aren't you?
I don't want to hear you bitch about how we've gone on too long. I'm trying to move stuff along.
But you are going to join in the discussion, right?
No, because I don't care.
Right, you don't care. But it's a huge thing because it's a huge publisher and it's a huge project. It's a huge game. So that kind of stuff is out there. I mean, now I make it sound like some sort of hideous monster. Now I haven't even, because I switched browsers, I haven't opened the news stories.
Well, yeah, basically what to catch everybody up, for those who do not know, Jason Schreier over at Kotaku did a really deep investigative journalism piece on talking to former Bungie and Activision developers who worked on Destiny and found out that Destiny almost never came out. It was never the original vision. There was lots of, they started off one thing and what it is now is nowhere near to what it was. Ended up, parting ways with the writer. They fired Marty O'Donnell. And
who was the composer? Just like
right. Yes. I'm sorry. I assume everyone knows who Marty O'Donnell is because I'm into video game soundtracks.
I would be the same way, but again, not a perfect world.
Right. So, Marty O'Donnell was the composer. He also composed the original scores for Halo.
Yeah.
So he was pretty much a Bungie staple. And I mean, it was a big thing when suddenly he was let go last year, 2 years ago. It's all
before he was let go. I think before the project development ended.
Yes. Oh yeah. Yes. I know that for a fact.
And then the writer left later on, but it was also before the launch.
Right.
So there was, according to Kotaku's piece and all the sources, who were mostly from former Bungie employees, some are current, all anonymous, of course. So the thing was that basically, I mean, I can understand why you're so indifferent about it because it's kind of old news. Except now it's backed up by a pretty, valid source.
I mean, I'm indifferent about it because I think this happens all the time.
Yes, but it's still,
for better or for worse, it happens.
It's like it's official now. It's a thing. It was a thing, and nearly everybody knew it or suspected it. And now it's like official. When I'm like, it's just discouraging in a way because you always kind of hope that it's really not stuff like that isn't true. But I don't know if people like Marty O'Donnell, who has proven time and again that he could deliver on most of the stuff he does, and same thing goes for the writer, and then those guys leave, guys with like reputation, credibility. I don't know, maybe they can maybe when you get into a professional relationship with these guys, they can turn out to be assholes. I don't know. I don't want to. It's just when I don't know all the circumstances. I'm just like on a different part of the planet, and I just want our games to be fun and stuff, and I want to share it with people and say that they're fun. But I can't do that if they pull this shit off. People have to know about it, which is part of the reason why I think that what Kotaku did is a pretty important thing.
So, I know Marty O'Donnell was fired. Was the writer fired, or did he just leave?
I think he left on his own accord after a series of creative differences and arguments and blah, 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 and getting into a huge fight with Bungie executives.
So he wanted a story and they wanted shitty, shitty, bang, bang?
No. Part of I think some sources claim that it was that they just weren't happy with the story. And other sources claim that it was a great story. and that they just wanted to chop it up, and serve it as DLC, future DLC, blah, blah, blah. But they use this argument that, it's just not good enough, and we're not happy with it, so we're not going to go with this. And that's the part where he, just stormed out, as anyone would. And it wasn't just him behind the work, behind the writing. There were more writers. There was a lot of people involved in that. So when they scrap this, of course you're gonna hear moronic lines like "that wizard came from the moon" and all these other, bullcrap sentences, which were clear results of this. If this happened to some other game, it wouldn't be as I'll be like, okay, fuck it. But with this, it was just supposed to be a big thing, and it seems to have been wasted again because of somebody's greediness.
What was it really wasted? I mean, it seems like it's done just fine.
It's becoming fun now, like a year after. I mean, Warcraft, when it came out, it was a massive thing in every sense. It was okay. It wasn't. It had like flaws and stuff, but it was great when it came out. Why couldn't this have been?
Many would argue that it was.
Are you kidding me? No. Not like Warcraft.
You should look at the numbers, and you should look at the number of people who constantly played it when it first released. Like, that's kind of why when everyone's making about such a big deal, it's like, we were shafted of this great game. I'm like, but you played it anyway. So
yeah, exactly.
What do they care?
Yes, but I don't understand people who liked it when it was launched because it had serious flaws. The boss fights were way too long.
Believe you're one of the people who still played it. You told me every morning. I don't know why I'm still playing it, but I still.
No. That wasn't okay. It launched.
That was a while after it launched. Yes.
A while after it launched.
But
several months actually.
But it was still before 2.0.
It was before 2.0, but it was after all these like major complaints, which were that just the game was had these long boss fights, and I remember watching footage. I was like, I don't want to play this. And you could hear, oh my god, and the main thing was that the missions were so repetitive, like very, very repetitive, and they did change that a bit. Only a bit. And
yet, every night on my PS4, over half of my friends are playing Destiny from the day it launched through now. They are still playing Destiny. So
we're back to the old tagline. We complain and yet we continue to buy.
Well, I mean, I don't know if it's about continue to buy, but I guess I'm just not understanding why everyone's bitching about, we didn't have this great story, because you bought it anyway. You bought it anyway. You still played it every day.
Yes, but that we were hyped before release that we were going to get the best game ever. That's the problem. That we were just told that we would get this, even like when they were making the game and writing the story, it was promoted as this thing. Even when you read Kotaku's piece, there are things in there and ambitions that they had and stuff that they promised, which I forgot about. I remember writing the news, but I just forgot about it. It was everyday duty and stuff for me. So that's why when we go through a news day, you don't remember every single news story you've written. It was at the time, I remember, oh my God, I actually remembered when I read a quote from somebody that they were gonna make this feature in Kotaku's article, and then I remembered the story and writing the story. I was like, oh, I was so hyped about that, because it was like this feature where you jump in to a game and instantly you can hook up with a friend no matter where they were. It was like all these ambitious promises, and then clearly at some point they realized that they went in over their heads, or however you say this. It was too ambitious, and the biggest surprise for me was that the technology, the engine they used. Supposedly a lot of people who were designers, developers, and working with that were just frustrated because any changes would take forever to implement, like the simplest of things. So it wasn't, the technology is not easy to work with. If that comes across, so that's now there's this, like, after Kotaku's piece, there's this like growing concern that with people wanting more and more content, can Bungie keep up with it? So that's why it turns out to be a big thing. Destiny, you said most of the people are playing it, but unless they find some way to dish out more content faster, or and I don't know. So far, it is what I keep enjoying about the game is the impeccable gameplay, first-person shooter gameplay. It's mostly you can notice it in the Crucible and competitive multiplayer. That part of the game is really well polished. So I guess that's why it's a big thing. People keep returning because it's a fun game to play. But all this other stuff that we were promised, we just didn't get it. And now that
I could say that about almost any game that we hear hyped a year to 2 years in advance before release. Like BioShock Infinite didn't have half the stuff they had originally shown in the very first trailer at E3.
Well, this was, I don't know about that. I mean, it was touted differently, I guess, not as this was this is going to be what we kept getting was this one consistent message. This is going to be the best game ever.
Well, everybody says that.
I don't know. Do they? I mean,
and it's,
yes, of
and
course.
It's Bungie. They're still wearing their laurels from Halo. So
yeah. Yes, they are kind of. I'm not say they're arrogant, but.
And this is also the same company that talked about, you're going to throw your money at the screen from looking at fucking emotes. I mean, of course, to me, Bungie has always been guilty of overhyping and under-delivering.
Yeah. Well, thinking about Halo, yeah, that's true. I mean, the history of the franchise.
I mean, and I love Halo, but and replaying, the Halo Master Chief Collection, I'm never playing that first Halo game ever again. Never. That is bad. That level design is bad. I'm never doing the library again. Me and my friend, halfway through this one level, he was like, "Are you having fun?" I was like, "No." We just had to get through it. And then Halo 2 was so cut off. Halo 3 was probably one of the best ones. And then you had ODST, which was completely different, but super short. And then you brought in Reach, which almost retconned most of the lore that they had, which pissed me off to no end. And so, I mean...
Well, I mean, you have to consider, that Halo 1 was... when was it released? It was 2001 to... No. Or did I go too far back? When was it released?
I honestly have no idea. All I'm saying is that Bungie has this history of they really overhyped Halo 2. The only thing that saved Halo 2 was the multiplayer because it redefined multiplayer on consoles.
Well, I wouldn't say that Destiny is redefining multiplayer, but it is the best aspect of it, and they have perfected it really, really. They're just
because they finally embraced that it's an MMO. That is why it's gotten better. Because
there is a strong MMO nature to the game. Yes.
I mean, when it first came out, they were like, "No, this is not an MMO. You can play this by yourself." No, you really can't.
No.
And now they finally accepted, yes, it's an MMO.
Yes, but you can now you can play it. You can play it by yourself. It's better if you have a fire team, which means always having a group of at least 3 or 4 players. But any game is better if you play it with friends.
I disagree.
None of them are perfect.
See, I disagree because I don't really enjoy playing with others, and it's mainly because and it's partly that I just don't have time to always meet up with people, and it's also partly like I do gaming. That's my me time. That is not my hanging out with friends time.
Okay, but yeah, but I'm not saying I'm saying that the social thing with games is a pretty big thing. Hell, play and replay games like The Last of Us. I think replayed The Last of Us possibly 4 to 5 times. Don't ask me why, because it's my me time and I like it the way it is. I love how the story is told. I love the characters. I want to play it again as much as I wanted to see Empire Strikes Back for 154,000 times. So that's one thing. But this I was a pretty like I rejected multiplayer games for a long time, for like a while. So this is kind of my big, leap. I would say my huge swan dive into the world of multiplayer games, because it's very big right now, and I'm very curious to see how Halo is going to do, Halo 5 compared to Destiny, and how that multiplayer is.
But it's a totally different beast. So you're going to have people going into it for different reasons.
Sure, but that's good.
Yeah.
And you're obviously tremendously excited about it.
Well, but the multiplayer is not my thing.
Yeah, well, there must be some multiplayer games that you enjoyed.
Like I've played co-op with some stuff, and that's it. I have not enjoyed.
Well, that's okay, but that's That's fine. Co-op is fine.
But when I think of multiplayer, I think of versus, like
yeah,
like in Halo.
Competitive is very frustrating. The Crucible, I just avoided. You get in there, you show your you just like you get headshotted immediately. You get killed, you don't know how. Then you respawn, and then you get killed again, and you don't know why. And then you try to, with the best of intentions, you try to improve your gameplay. Nope, you get killed again and again and again. And then when you start getting your first kills, you start to feel the rush. And I actually had an evil laugh for the first time, spontaneously, like emerge when I kill. I was like, whoa! It actually feels good. But that's not the kind of multiplayer I'm into too much. It helps you improve your gameplay and how you play the game, but co-op is better for me. Most of the games I play. Well, you played Halo with your friend, right?
Yeah.
So that's a co-op. Co-op is always more intimate and fun because you're playing with people you know. So that's what I mean. It's a social thing, and playing with friends is always good. Not every game, of course. Most of them are just enjoyable the way you enjoy reading a good book or watching a movie. So,
if the story is good, yes.
What are we supposed to talk about now?
Well, I think we've gone on for a really long time, so why don't we just go ahead and cut to what we've been playing? We've been reviewing a lot, but
okay, I'll go first. Other than when I tear myself away from Destiny, it was mostly Sky Shine's Bedlam this week. It was a difficult game to review, I'll tell you that much, because okay, at first I thought it was done by this same development team it was from the people who made the Banner Saga, which wasn't the case. It was published. It was released by the same publisher who published Banner Saga, but they used the same engine for it, and it shows. It's kind of turn-based tactical strategy with cool, RPG elements. But the roguelike form, which was obviously something that was insisted upon in this game, they kind of bring the whole experience down. I mean, for me, it was they made it. It was supposed to make it more challenging that way. So you have runs. You cannot save your game. There are no checkpoints. Yes, you can quit the game, and then when you go back in, you can continue. But the world randomly changes every time you do that. So I was like, okay, I'll stick with this. Fine. But everything I do in the game doesn't yield any rewards, which is very frustrating. I don't know how many hard games or like tough games you play, because we've been over this before with like Bloodborne.
The will to rage quit is strong with me.
Indeed. So you would not last 5 minutes in battle.
You've already lost me at tactical turn-based.
No, that's the part that's pretty good, because
I hate tactical turn-based.
Yes, but you have to give it some time. I mean, you must have paused combat in Dragon Age Origins. It's kind of the same thing.
But you're on a fucking grid. Nope, hate it. Hate it, hate it, hate
yes,
it.
there is a grid, yes. But it's nice when your characters level up, and that's the part where I really got pissed off. So I finally see one of my crew members level up, and then they die like easily, and then your game just kicks you out, and you lose the game because you don't have enough resources, or you lose fuel, and you have to start all over again. Starting all over again is an element that's overused in this game because of its roguelike nature. And there are ways, I'm assuming, that they could have just like optimized this better as an experience. And even when you play it on easy, it's too tough. It's just relentless. So, and then the frustration outweighs the fun. So, it's. But I was curious to see how far I would go. So that's why I kept coming back to it. But my review is up. I think the score is pretty. It sums up all my feelings about the game. So
It was higher than I was expecting from talking to you about it.
It was higher
week.
than I was expecting, because I played it some more. And then when you play it some more, you start to realize that there is more to the game, but it takes like a lot of work and persistence to get to that stuff. It's not something that's meant to like please the average gamer, but it also feels like kind of incomplete. It just needs more stuff in there.
Mm-hmm.
So all the moments of fun were they were kind of, I don't know. But whenever I see a game that compels me to come back to it, there's something good there. There's
right.
Not usually that easy to pinpoint that stuff. But with Bedlam, it feels like it could have been a whole lot more. What about you?
Well, that's disappointing that you feel like it could have been a whole lot more, but I don't know, to me, that always sucks when it's like, oh, this had so much, like, kind of like the Order 1886. Look at the potential to be great.
You keep getting back to that example a lot.
Because it hurt me, man. It hurt me deep inside.
Well, now you know how most people, how we felt about Destiny. Us personally.
Oh, Jesus fuck Christ. Yeah, but the difference is that the Order didn't sell as many copies as Destiny, and is still not selling as many copies as Destiny. You don't see people still playing the Order.
But wasn't it like overhyped as well?
Oh, it was. It was totally overhyped. You know what else is overhyped was Halo.
Yeah, Halo is always overhyped. We're in that category right now. We are in the AAA category and the AAA category.
Yeah.
Where the hype is,
it just, I was fully expecting, to come in and give it a 9 point something, and ended up like no, I can't give this any higher than an 8. If the multiplayer when I played it was broken at all, it would have dropped down at least a full point, if not more. Um,
Yes.
uh, I mean, so the multiplayer did work. I know that game's out today, so I have not heard any complaints. So I'm guessing that 343 has learned their lesson.
Mm-hmm.
I probably won't play any more multiplayer because I got yelled at with just the early access and press people for sucking. So screw all you people for taking games too seriously.
Is it always? I mean, is like in Halo 5? Is it like versus PvP? Is it PvP mostly?
It's all, well. I mean, there is a co-op element to the campaign that you can do with up to 4 people.
Yeah.
But which I never did get a chance to play because I was going to play with a friend. We were going to do the whole campaign together, and then Assassin's Creed Syndicate showed up, and I was just like, yeah, fuck it, I got it. I got to focus on this because it releases sooner. And so I mean, there's 2 distinct modes in Halo multiplayer. There's the arena, which is like the classic 4 versus 4, and there is the war zone, which is huge and it's massive, and there's actual AI enemies in there as well. It takes a lot longer to play, and the arena is probably better for me because they actually have something that they call it's like basically they match people according to their skill rankings. So like for someone like me, they see I've hardly played anything. They're not going to put me in an arena with a veteran who has won 50 plus matches in 2 weeks and, would basically kill me when I take one step. So that way you can, level up and you can actually get some skills. And also those veterans will be able to be against each other so that they can improve and they will feel challenged and they're just not knifing people constantly. So like I played like a couple of rounds of Warzone and realized I did not need to be there and went right back into Arena. I had a little more fun in there, but
and that's important for every multiplayer game to find your own thing. And there are a lot of choices in Destiny, like in that sense.
Yeah.
So whether it's co-op or this like massive thing Battlefront had, Hoth, or just like more intimate PvP, or even if it's just soloing the thing, it's important to have these choices with these huge games. But I'm glad to hear that at least they have not screwed it up like with the Master Chief Collection.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, because Master Chief Collection, like I said, I think last time, my friend and I were still having co-op issues. That's just co-op. I didn't try the multiplayer since I reviewed the game because I have no interest in that anyway. But like,
clearly they spend a lot of time then polishing Halo 5.
Yeah, which is what they needed to do. The big problem with I had a few problems with the campaign of Halo 5. Like I said, it was overhyped, but after explaining why I thought it was overhyped to actually several friends, they've said it sounds like they misinformed people instead of overhyped. Just because they made things a little more dramatic than they really were. They showed things that never even happened in the game, so I was kind of confused by it all.
They showed things that never happened in the game?
I mean, like, for example, that live action trailer where you have Master Chief running through this collapsing city.
Yeah.
That never happened in the game.
You mean it's not part of the story? No,
not at all.
So what was it then?
I have no idea. I have no idea why they had
maybe it was just cut out during production. It wasn't. Isn't this like the thing the Witcher devs kept talking that we like that big publishers push their products and promote it any way they can think of before release, and then things change during development?
It's possible, but
it also refers. Sorry, it also refers to. It could also refer to scenes as much as the gameplay.
It could have been the weird thing, and you may be right about that because in that live action trailer they had Oni giving a press conference saying that Master Chief was dead, and then they immediately went to Spartan Locke and said the story is that he's dead. Your responsibility is to take care of it. Well, okay, so that makes you think maybe Spartan Locke sent out to kill him or at least bring him back for questioning. we're not really sure. And even in the Hunt the Truth podcast, which is, done by these professional voice actors and everything, which obviously they had to, record that way in advance as well. They actually mentioned Oni's broadcast of Master Chief being declared dead. Well, when Master Chief does go, I'm going to get in a little bit of spoiler territory here. But so the first mission of the game is with Spartan Locke. And then the second mission is with Master Chief and Blue Team, is because they're out on a mission to clean up the rest of the Covenant after Spartan Locke killed Jul Madama.
So is this like the same? Is this happening at the same time?
Yes, these two things are happening at the same time. Spartan Locke is out to retrieve Dr. Halsey and kill Jul Madama, and Blue Team has been sent out to take care of another former Covenant section.
Okay.
After he does that, he gets, I'm not going to say what, because that's going to get into spoiler territory. Master Chief learns something, and he decides to go investigate it. He tells Oni, or Commander Lasky, what he's going to do. Lasky says, no, you're ordered to come back, and Chief says, I'm going anyway, and he leaves. Mm-hmm. So then they tell Locke, he has gone AWOL, go bring him back. That is all that happens. They never once call him a traitor. They never once ask him, why he's doing certain things, because he makes it very clear what he's doing. So, and when
wasn't your like biggest complaint about the story in Halo 5 is just how it basically sets things up, and that's it. It doesn't,
because at the very
there's no like beginning, middle, and end. Good story. Now go home.
It's a setup for the rest of the games, because when the ending happened, I was like, they're really going to leave it like that. And it wasn't like it was this huge cliffhanger or anything, because it was definitely a finality to it. But there never felt like there was a real story. Everything was just a buildup. It was a formation of what's going to be happening in the future. And, when you watch TV shows that have these big dramatic stories, you're used to having a couple episodes that are nothing because it's just the chess pieces moving on the board.
Yeah.
That's all that this was.
So that's the problem. And that's one of the problems with Destiny. And that's one of the problems with a lot of game. Well, Destiny is really like that's the worst that things have been, because not only does it feel, it didn't feel like it was episodic. It felt like it was non-existent, the story. So that seems to happen in a similar way with Halo. So yes. These publishers keep doing this, with all these big releases. So again, it just proves why I keep going. I had this urge to keep going to games that were just well written. Even The Walking Dead, the first one, which was kind of, when you think about it, devastating to play and experience, as like it was emotionally wrecking. And yet I wanted to play it one more time. It wasn't. It was just like I played it once. And then, I don't know, 5 to 6 months later, I just wanted to go through it again. And it felt good because I forgot what happened, But it was just a story well told.
Yes.
That's what we want with these big games. I mean, we want to have, we want to see, as much as we see the gameplay progressing and evolving, and it does, that's great, because that's the hardest thing for any developer, like indie or AAA, it doesn't matter. We want to see the storytelling evolve as well.
Right. And
especially when you have like guys, you have Halo, which has all this massive lore behind it, and we get none of that. And Destiny as well, So
yeah, I mean, and Assassin's Creed Syndicate is not much better, but you don't play those Assassin's Creed games for the story.
You don't?
No. I mean, this is one thing I can say about Syndicate, is that at least it tries something new, and that you're not, because I never play Black Flag, so I can't compare that. But like for most of the Assassin's Creed games, except for I guess the first one with Altair, like with 2 and with 3 with Connor, and then with Arno, they all start the same way, that a family member has been murdered by a Templar and you're going to go out for revenge. So it was really nice to start off Syndicate with not having a revenge story, that they were already seasoned assassins and they just wanted to go to London and help.
Yes, in almost every Assassin's Creed game, you start off not as an assassin rookie, but like as you don't know anything, which is okay. I can understand the setup, but come on, give us something different. I'm actually pretty, now that we're talking about Assassin's Creed, and it's probably been 1,600 hours that we've been doing this vidcast, but I would just like to say this, that I kind of miss not many people were keen on the Altair story because of the futuristic stuff and the way that it connects to it, but I actually kind of like the futuristic stuff in the original because it was kind of mysterious. You can see the future, but it was in this like one room where they just had him, they experimented with his DNA and whatever. You don't see the outside world, and you don't need to see any, Blade Runner-y kind of futuristic cities and floating cars. There was none of that. So it led to a certain mystery to the whole, so why are they doing this? And then the story just keeps going and going. Of course, they fucked it up in the end. Spoiler alert: it was the fist fight with the Pope and aliens in the second game. But it's still, up until that point, Assassin's Creed 2 was a great story. It was also a revenge story, yeah. What else? Revelations was kind of good. The way it wrapped up the whole story with what's his name, Ezio.
Ezio.
So I used to play Assassin's Creed not for the story as is like, this is the best story I've ever seen or heard in a game. It's just like, it is part of the experience for me.
Yeah, it's a little part. Like, it's nice to have, reasons and motivations to go after certain targets. The problem I had with Assassin's Creed 2 was like, I understood the first like 3 targets, and then after that I'm like, who's this person?
Yeah. The first targets are pretty damn, you can understand those.
Yeah.
It was like very deep personal motivation.
Like, I'm going after this guy. Why?
So why are you just kill him and then you do the Italian thing? But it still was.
They fixed that in Brotherhood because with Brotherhood they made a little more sense because you're trying to free Rome from the Borgia reign. Yeah. So you understand, and you have that here in Syndicate as well because you're trying to take back London. So you're going, but you understand you're going after the guy who's running it, his people first. But you get that very early on, and you understand that.
Okay, so what I loved about Revelations and Assassin's Creed 2 even, I don't know if that's in Brotherhood because I didn't play that one. Somebody else reviewed it. But,
that's my favorite one.
Yeah, I know. I heard good things about it. But what I liked, and I can't remember if it's in Unity now or if it's in Syndicate. I don't think it is. A whole segment of the game was like reserved for. There were like side missions that you have to unlock armor and stuff and pieces, collectibles. But they had a very strong Prince of Persia platform jumping element to it, which was it was kind of cool. So
I remember that
that's
too.
In Unity.
I remember that too.
It was pretty. Yeah,
it was hard.
It was, but that's what I liked about it because I loved the Sands of Time series and Prince of Persia, and Ubisoft kept doing those games at the time, even though they for some reason kept reworking the formula for Prince of Persia every time, trying to change it, and they don't realize that this platform shit actually still works if you have good level designers behind it.
They did have it in Brotherhood. They took out some of the time restrictions that you had. Because, like, I remember in 2, the reason why I rage quit doing that in 2 was because I got to that one tomb where it was like you had to time the jumps.
Yes.
Yeah, that just was not happening.
And also, that's another Prince of Persia element where you pull a crank or a lever or something, and then you have to rush and make like that little opening in the gate after completing a series of platform puzzles. So that's also a kind of thing in Assassin's Creed. It used to be. So I don't know if it's prominent or even present in current
I don't remember that being in Unity. Now in Syndicate,
I don't think it is.
In Syndicate, they have where you can get that special gear, but it's not platforming puzzles. It's you find little clues that are scattered all over London.
I missed that bit, I must admit.
So, and the thing is, like, it's all pieces of music boxes. So sometimes they'll show up on your map, sometimes it won't, but you'll be in an area, all of a sudden you'll be like, wait, I think I hear a music box. And then you have to go find it, and that has a piece. And I don't remember how many pieces there are. There's a lot of pieces that you have to find. They're like tokens. And then you have to find the underground layer where this thing is hidden.
Mm-hmm.
And insert and put all the pieces where they belong, and a piece of gear will open up.
Cool. Is it about time to wrap up?
Most likely, yes. So I won't even get into Life is Strange. It's just fine. You can just read my review or play it for yourself. I highly recommend it as an episodic game. So anyway, we're going to wrap this up now. Chris, we ask that you got to do all the little business at the end. So subscribe to our YouTube channel so you can get these videos delivered to your email inbox every single time. You get that. You get my unboxing videos. I have a new one up for Assassin's Creed Syndicate. Halo 5 is on its way. Don't judge me that I've already played these games. I'm still getting collector's editions. Just don't. Just don't. I don't care. And plus some of our gameplay videos. Maybe Uros will stop posting Destiny videos, but probably not.
I will probably post more of those. Sorry.
Oh, yay. So but you can also follow us on Twitter. I'm at Crunchy Chocobo. Uros is at Urevader. And the site is at action_trip. And of course, we ask that you read actiontrip.com every day. So thanks so much for watching.
Thank you. Bye.